One more month after this month, and this year is officially half over, which is crazy, right? I can point to one thing from this year so far that has made the biggest difference for me. And I know that might sound kind of clickbaity, like the one thing, the one secret you need to learn, but it's true. There is one thing that I feel like has really overall changed my year the most. And so I thought we'd have just a little chat and talk about it. Hey guys, I'm Rebecca from the Tex-Mex Mom, and normally here on my channel we're talking about saving money for your family, especially with meal planning, grocery shopping, and things like that. But today I didn't have a ton of time to film, but I was still thinking about what I could share with you guys, and I kind of started thinking about this one thing that has really made a big difference in my life this year. Are you ready to hear it? Okay, here's what it is. The one thing that has made the biggest difference in my life this year so far is getting up early on a regular basis. Now, I did a video somewhat recently about mom hacks, and one of those mom hacks was getting up before my kids. And this is something that I've tried to do off and on over the 10, 11 years of being a mom, and it's always been a struggle for me. Just getting out of bed when I didn't have someplace I was going to, like I was always on time for work when I had work, always on time for college classes and stuff. I can get myself out of bed when I have an appointment or something like that. But when I'm just home with my kids, it was just so much harder to pull myself out of bed. But finally, at the beginning of this year, I was like, I need to build this habit, like some way or another. Now they say it takes 30 days to build a habit. I have found that, it usually takes a little bit longer than that. I guess it depends on the habit, but getting up early for me was a hard habit to build. And so I needed longer than that. And what I needed to build this habit was accountability. So the one thing that has made the biggest difference in my life this year is, yes, getting up early before my kids, but if I take a step back, what helped me to do that was accountability. So it's really having accountability this year is what has made the biggest difference for me. So what I did was I talked to my friend Emily. She's a fellow blogger and a fellow YouTuber. She's queen of the household if you want to look up her channel. But I talked to her and we realized that we both had the goal of getting up at 6 a.m. And so I asked her if I could text her every morning on the weekdays. Weekends, I was like, whatever, I can sleep in if I have time or whatever. But weekdays is what I really wanted to focus on. So I started texting her and she would text me back every day at 6 or shortly thereafter once I was up and out of bed. And man, just having the accountability of needing to send that text helped me so much. If you're looking to do something similar, for me, I have never really had very much success with being accountable with family. Like with my husband, I'm growing up with siblings or with my parents. I don't know, it's just, I'm sure it can work, but for me, it's just never as effective. But having someone who is not family, there's just a little bit more pressure. Not that Emily was going to chew my head off if I didn't get up or anything, but I don't know, you just feel a little more pressure, like I need to keep this commitment. So I had Emily as my accountability partner for 3 months. I texted her every weekday. A couple times I forgot, but I still got up. But basically every weekday for January, February, and March. And after 3 months, we realized we really didn't need to text each other anymore because 3 months had really cemented the habit for us. So yeah, 30 days to make a habit, I don't know about that, but 3 months definitely worked for us. Now, I have been getting up regularly, consistently, every weekday at 6 a.m. and it's making a huge difference. Why has this been such a difference maker for me? Well, I know that I have this hour from 6 to 7 that I can get going on my work. I can do some exercise. I can read my Bible. I don't do all of these things all the time, but I can do some of these things and just get that head start on my day instead of waking up with the kids right there in the bedroom, pulling me out for breakfast or whatever, and I'm still sleepy. Well, let's face it, I'm usually still sleepy at 7 anyways when I get up at 6, but at least I've gotten something done. I've gotten a start on my day. So I cannot say enough good about getting up before your kids. And I know it's hard in different seasons. And like, if we have another baby at some point, like, will I always be getting up at 6 a.m. when I have a new little infant? No, like, you have to give yourself grace in those different seasons. But I was giving myself like grace for every little thing and it just turned into excuses. So I needed to make a change in this season of my life, and I'm so glad that I did, and having that accountability helped so much. Now, there are other times in my life when accountability has helped me a ton too. For a while, and I'm not doing this now, but for a while I was exercising. I had a goal for how many times a week I wanted to exercise, and I had an accountability group that I was a part of for that, and we actually all put in money into like a pot, so to speak, And if we did not keep our exercise goals for that week, we would lose some of that money. And so it was a really great motivator. And then at the end of a month, or I can't remember, maybe it was at the end of 3 months or whatever, we would divide up the money that was in the pot to whoever was still in the group, and then we would start over again. And man, I exercised more consistently then than any other time in my life because I had that accountability. Having a little money involved, man, that made it even more helpful. So that accountability with exercise for me was huge. Another like small way of having accountability that has helped me this year and other times in the past is just keeping myself accountable by printing out something like a habit tracker. I have one on my website that you can download and, you know, print out for free that I've used in the past. Right now I'm using one that's called like a glow up tracker. And this is the second month I've used that. But when I print something like that out and put it on the fridge, then I know that my family's going to see it. If we have people over, they're going to see it because I don't take it down. And so it's a lower level of accountability because I'm not texting people for those particular things, but it still helps. It is some form of accountability, and that makes a big difference for me. Okay, so two questions I have for you. First of all, have you had a similar experience where you feel like being accountable for something has really helped you? I would love to hear what it is and like how that accountability worked for you, what you did, and how you kept accountable with a friend or whatever. And then just on a more general note, what is something that has made the biggest difference in your life this year? I would love to hear it in the comments. I know this was kind of a little bit more random of a chat, but sometimes it is fun to just get on here and just share some things that have been helpful for me, and hopefully something from this was helpful for you too. Okay guys, as always, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a great week. I will see you again soon in my next video. Bye.